Hello and welcome to a new session on our topic ArchiMate for Architecture Modeling in alignment with the TOGAF Architecture Development Method ADM. In a previous session, we have seen the application domain. Today, we continue our discussion diving deeper with the rest of the items and annotations in the application domain and show the component diagram. So we ended up with the architecture domain for our recommender system as on the screen. Today we dive deeper into the internal components of the PFF service. We see how it works from inside and take the chance to introduce the rest of the components or the annotations available in our palette. We'll start with adding a new ArchiMate view. Application layer recommender system, component diagram or internals. Here we have the wrapper, the service itself, and this is PFF service. Back end for front end, if you are not familiar with the concept. Of course, we'll use a lot of interfaces. Interface to the outside world. Here we can comfortably say it is a RESTful APIs. Products. Here another API. Catalogs. If we find the RESTful APIs is a little bit redundant, or if we decide later it is a GraphQL API, then perhaps this is a good point. Here we say we need to do an analysis or investigation, technology evaluation, which is more appropriate, which is the standard in our enterprise or organization. So this is also one of the things that these diagrams help us to get our hands on early on in the design phase. Catalogs. Recommendations. One would wonder if this is really sensible, because the whole point of having the PFF is that we don't have separate APIs for the front end to call, but one API that aggregates all of these APIs in one call. This is the whole point of the PFF. So what we can do to emphasize this concept is we have here aggregations or aggregator. You can call it a browse catalogs or browser aggregator, products aggregator. So we will get in one shot the catalog, the product, and the recommendations with pagination, etc. Make this as a wrapper. So this is an API of aggregation of these entire APIs, and this are all composition. Perhaps here the wording could be more accurate if we say aggregation, because each one of them exists on its own. But in this context of the BFF, the APIs don't stand on their own, so a composition here is the right interpretation. This is a composition of the entire APIs interfaces that we are having. So this is our aggregator. A wrapper or composition. So this is the entry point to the BFF service. So we have taken the chance and used the interface annotation in this diagram. Let's start with adding some components. So this is actually the interesting part that we are having this session for. So the first component is one that is a client, products client, product service clients. We have shown here that it's catalog service, so perhaps we stick to the same naming convention. So this is the one that will basically have a client implementation of the APIs of the catalog service. We add another component, recommender service APIs client. Could be an adapter, because you could have recommendations based on different services, even external third-party services. You could have products or catalogs from a catalog service or product service master data management, another topic for architecture. That you can have this master data management where you have the identification, filtering, deduplication of the products, and this is also could have the interfaces to upload the new products and update them, and this would be the adapter of the client that interfaces with all of the catalog product master data management. And in context of the BFF service, since we don't expect a lot of updates, so it makes sense if we say explicitly that we're having a caching component, caching module or component. Caching client could be interfacing with Redis or another. So basically you have the APIs, they hit first the cache. If the cache is not empty, it will return the results. If the cache is empty, it will use the clients and update the cache and return the results. It could also be parallel with multi-threading, so you can not waste a lot of latency doing this. So is using the caching client. There will be a controller, handler, RESTful controllers, APIs controllers. So this is the manager, handler, controller that's driving this entire processes. And the relationship here, as you can see, of course, we have seen that the APIs, they are assigned to the service using the assignment operator over here at the top. But for interpretability, I would say triggering here is also fine. even though it's not 100% compliant with the standard. The controller triggers the catalog service client and the recommender service client and updates or reads from the caching client. Looks pretty solid. Let's review the architecture again, see which other interactions we may have overseen. In the PFF, we have interaction in direction of catalog service, we have interaction in direction of recommender service, and we have interaction in direction of the recommendations as an object. So the data object itself that is being returned, and this we have implicitly modeled in the interfaces that we have shown. And then it has other interface in direction of the application gateway, and this is actually the interface that is modeled here, the RESTful APIs products aggregators. So that's pretty much it. Not too much to say. We have explained here the components of the PFF service and the interactions within their internal components. I hope this session was quite useful to you to introduce the components, annotations, and the interfaces of the application domain in the ArchiMate for architecture modeling. See you in the future sessions.